Genesis.
Good morning.
Let's all stand up and sing our opening song, shall we?
Yes. Let's do that. In the spirit of celebration, we're grateful, we're grateful. In the brilliance of life's perfection, we're grateful, we're grateful for the blessings already given. In the goodness of God we're living, in the finished kingdom of heaven, and all is well, all is well, oh, all is well. In the spirit of celebration, we're grateful, we're grateful. In the brilliance of life's perfection, we're grateful, we're grateful for the blessings already given. In the goodness of God we're living, in the finished kingdom of heaven, and all is well, all is well, all is well, all is well, all is well.
That's a Becca Palm original. And we're grateful to have Becca Palm with us today. Grateful for each and every one of you who have showed up today in this snowy morning, which is delightful. I am delighted to be here under these conditions, under any conditions, truly. I love my community, and I'm glad that you're all here. My name is Karen Williams, and I'm a spiritual practitioner here at Genesis, and I'm going to be your host today. Our online host, for those of you who are joining us on Facebook, is Eric. And Eric is inviting you who join us online who weren't, maybe couldn't or didn't feel confident enough to come out this morning in the snow, to create your own kind of community online. Please comment, let us know that you're here, and chat with each other. Every Sunday we read our mission and vision statements together, so please join me, starting with our mission. We are building a vibrant community, cultivating a garden of spiritual growth, honoring vulnerability, creating a safe place of comfort and peace where all are welcome and accepted. Our vision: Genesis is a bright beacon with an unshakable heart of love, accepting all. A home for the soul where we each creatively express our spiritual brilliance. I love that bit. Please take that in. We each have spiritual brilliance. Just a few announcements this morning. First, I want to say that we do have name tags on the welcome table. That helps us foster connections and make it easier for new members who are coming in to get to know us. So feel free to grab one at any time. We have no book study today after fellowship, because after service we have Dave, who is our speaker today, who is giving our message, is doing a workshop. So it's a visioning workshop, and he's going to run us through some questions about how we love our community and how we can grow our community. So grateful for Dave for doing that. we invite you to join that conversation. Even if you're online, are we going to have an online option for our visioning? No. Okay. Please. I was going to say the snow is slowing down, but it's not. So you might not want to come in. Stay home. If you're already home, just stay there. Our regular monthly events are listed at the welcome table here, or you can find them on our website, genesiscsl.org/events. So reach out to Gideon if you have an event that you'd like to promote as well. Gideon is here today. All right, glasses on, glasses off. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm holding them. I have a relationship with my glasses. Okay. Do we have anybody here for the first time? No. If you are here for the first time and you're on Facebook, please let Eric know. Let us know. We want to welcome you to Genesis. Now that we've welcomed our potential guests, let's stand up and we're going to greet one another. If you aren't comfortable with hugging, just stick out your hand and we'll shake it instead. Namaste hands are a great choice for contactless greeting, or you might stay seated if you prefer not to mingle. All right, settling back in. I'd like to take a moment to thank everyone that is in service today. Our setup and cleanup crew is Gideon and Cynthia and Mike and Eric and Jim. Those are kind of the, hey, listen, no funny business over here. I hear everything. If there's anybody else who I didn't mention who has volunteered this morning to set up, will you please just raise your hand so I know? Okay, I got them all. Well done. Our morning greeter this morning is Cynthia. Our projector and video in the back is Mike. Our online host is Eric, and our sound tech is Jim. Those are the guys in the back. Our offering collection this morning will be taken up, as per usual, by Gideon. Our musician today is Becca Palm. Yeah. We're so grateful for those who show up in service on Sundays, and we could not pull this together without you. So if you would like, if you would like to be a part of the volunteer team, please let Cynthia or Gideon back at the welcome table know that you're interested in that. So now that we've kind of taken care of those details, we're going to move into the centering section before we get into the energy of Dave Penick's talk today. So we're going to start with our centering song, Breathe and Turn Within. Then I'm going to use the gong as a spiritual practice. So with each gong, we'll take a breath in together and let it go together 3 times. I have a reading from the Science of Mind 365. If you don't have it, please get it. It's fantastic. And then I'll pray. We'll have a beautiful song by Becca, and then we'll move into Dave Penick. All right.
I breathe and turn within. I breathe and turn within. I open up my heart and feel God's presence. I breathe and turn within. I breathe and turn within. I open up my heart and feel God's love. I breathe and turn within. I breathe and turn within. I open up my heart and feel God's presence. I breathe and turn within. I breathe and turn within. I open up my heart and feel God's love. I pray and turn within. I pray and turn within. I open up my heart and feel God's presence. I pray and turn within. I pray and turn within. I open up my heart and feel God's love. I sing and turn within. I sing and turn within. I open up my heart and feel God's presence. I sing and turn within. I sing and turn within. I open up my heart and feel God's love. I open up my heart and feel God's love. I open up my heart and feel God's love.
I have limitless imagination. From Psalms, open thou mine eyes, that I may behold wondrous things out of thy law. The greatest satisfaction in using the law of life is in the consciousness that such a power is available, rather than any use that we make of it. For any particular use we make of it is a passing thing, whether it be healing oneself or others or producing any other temporary good. All of these things are transitory, and there is something in everyone that longs for permanency. The artist knows that even though he has created something beautiful, it can be destroyed. His real and innermost satisfaction is not in the object, but in the subject, that thing within him that penetrates the mystic splendor of beauty itself. So it is with all of our temporary creations. Empires may rise and fall. Chance and change, the comings and goings of human events inevitably must give way to something bigger. You are greater than the sum total of all experiences you have had. And the affirmation is, I know that a law of life exists and that I am one with it and inseparable from it. I am part of an infinite energy from which I draw limitless creative imagination. This energy is the invisible essence and substance of every visible form. Its nature is goodness, truth, beauty, and love, and that is my nature too. Let's pray. So what's happening around me is the coffee pot and the snow that is falling, which is making me smile. It makes my heart sing. It makes my whole body. I would just run out there right now and just get a little bit on me and then come back in. Do you mind if I do that? This is the activity of life. This is the very activity. Everything that we hear in the news, everything that we see, everything that we feel is all the activity of life. It is the very essence of nature. It is the creative spirit of that one thing, our source, the source of all things. That was not me. Somebody better figure that out. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That life, living, moving, having its expression as each individual on this planet, and uniquely. No two of us are alike. And for us to have our expectation that somebody should be as we think they should be is folly, isn't it? There's only one life, but there's an infinite number of manifestations, of demonstrations, of expressions of that one life. And so I'm grateful for how it shows up here as Genesis Center for Spiritual Living, because we are unique. This collective of individuals, those of us who have said yes to what it is that we're doing here, create our own unique vibration that goes out beyond us into the world. We have a healing moment before we start service where we give gratitude, and we know that what it is that we do goes out from us, and it makes an impact. It makes a difference. It creates a wake that goes out. It is that law of motion. God, I'm not a scientist. That once energy is created, it just continues to moving until there's an obstacle that comes in its way. Yes? And this is what we're about today. We're about creating that positive vibration of love itself, of love, that creative power. And it's a choice that is made in every moment, every time that thought comes in, that is catastrophic, that is doomsday, that is whatever. Those things, we take our thought and we create another picture like we did this morning. We create another image. We have another thought. We use our imagination. We pull into, we tap into what is possible, and we keep our focus there. And so I'm grateful that there's a place that we can gather together and we can do this work together. I'm grateful for Dave Penick and him saying yes to this teaching in his own unique way, his gift that he gives in his own unique way. It is spirit expressing. It is him saying yes to life. It is him saying yes to ministry. And I'm so grateful that we've created that opportunity in that space, that we can do this together. Call it all good, knowing that the continuation of this service is simply a continuation of the blessing and the creation of life, and I let it be so, and so it is. And so now we're going to have a song by Becca Palm.
Yes. Sometimes our routines give us continuity and security, and that's okay. And then sometimes they're just less thoughtful. They're sort of in place because we haven't really thought through what we'd really like to have there. So in those times, let's take, and I understand today we're going to take a little minute after the service and picture those things that we want together. Sometimes beyond an old routine, new dreams are calling, you know what I mean. Each day brings a chance for us to grow if we leave behind what we know. Each day is a page we get to write, breaking a cycle as we walk in the light, releasing the old thoughts. There's something new in my mind. Say yes and leave the rest behind. Visioning guides us and helps us to find a world of wonder that's shaped by our mind. Old patterns may hold, but as we can see, a big yes can set us free. Somewhere beyond the old routine, a life of wonder waits to be seen as we vision our future and open our hearts. Each thought is a brand new start. Each thought is a brand new start.
Thank you, Becca. That was wonderful. Oh my gosh, I am so excited. I am so excited to be here, and I am so excited that you all came here today to see me speak. And you know what? It's interesting. I had an introduction. I wrote this whole talk, right? Just to tell you, this is what us ministers do. We write talks, right? We write this talk, and this is what we're supposed to say. And here's the first page of my introduction. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to throw it out. I'm throwing out the first page of the introduction because I'm here today to talk to you about what it is to be unstuck, right? Because that's the theme of what I wanted to talk about today. And here in the past 24 hours, what happened to me? The snow comes in, and I'm looking at the forecast, and I'm thinking like, geez, I could be stuck at home. And then they're saying, like, well, we might want to cancel Genesis, and we might just not want to have service, but no, the show must go on. And so what do? They say, okay, well, let's do things via Zoom. And so I'm just like, oh, my God, I'm reeling in my mind. I'm reeling around, and I'm going like, what am I going to do here? Because I'm stuck again. And then they say, okay, you're going to come to service here. And I look at the snow outside, and I feel myself just feeling with joy and excitement, like Karen said earlier. But then I'm stuck again. And Jim, didn't you say this to you yesterday? He was saying to me, he's like, well, what is Spirit telling you? Right? Because that's what Spirit's telling you. It's like, let's get unstuck. Let's get unstuck with our way of thinking. And so it's like, how am I supposed to get unstuck with this way of thinking when it's like everything keeps conspiring against me? So anyways, it's Groundhog Day. So let's get back to the original talk that I had, because this is kind of fun. So let's talk about Groundhog Day. So who's seen the movie Groundhog Day? Almost everyone has seen the movie Groundhog Day. Well, you know what? You're going to get to hear the summary again, because that's what I got for you today. Because I thought what is very appropriate to talk about Groundhog Day. And it's one of my favorite movies, and I've seen it at least like 10 or 20 times. So we're going to do this. So Groundhog Day is a film about Phil Connors, a cynical and self-centered weatherman who was sent to the annual Groundhog Day celebration in the small town of Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. And after the event, a strange phenomenon causes him to get trapped in a time loop, forcing him to relive the same day, February 2nd, over and over again. Every day he wakes up, and it's in the same place, and it's Groundhog Day. My gosh, that felt like my life yesterday. Everything was just waking up, and it was just like, here we go again. Initially frustrated, Phil gradually begins to explore different ways to use his repeated day. He engages in selfish behaviors as robbing banks, chasing women, engaging in gluttony, only to realize this causes him to feel depressed and empty. He then attempts to use his repeated day to better himself. And if you all seen the movie, you know the stuff that he does, right, in the movie? He learns to speak French. He learns to play the piano. He learns to ice sculpt. Isn't that freaking cool? I mean, seriously, I was saying the scenes he was ice sculpting there, and I was thinking to myself, I love to play family games with my family all the time, and I could barely draw stick figures. And this dude learns to ice sculpt. And so I was curious. I was curious to how long Phil was there in Punxsutawney, in the movie. So can anybody guess how long?
A couple years, century.
Yeah. So I looked it up because you know what? I get to do the talk today. And I thought this would be a fun thing because I'm like, the guy learns to ice sculpt. He must have been there a long time. So according to whatculture.com, and I thought you'd appreciate this because you always give us fun facts, Reverend James. So I had to have at least a little bit of Reverend James in here. A little bit of story time and a little bit of factual information, right? So Phil was stuck in Punxsutawney for 33 years, 350 days. This is according to this website. And this is based on that there are 38 days actually shown, 414 days mentioned in the film, and 11,391 days in which Phil spends learning new talents and interests based on the theory that it takes 10,000 hours to become an expert on any given subject. Did you know that, 10,000 hours? I thought that was kind of, oh, there you go. Someone does. Okay, cool. Well, I learned something new. Ultimately, he learns the importance of kindness. He learns empathy. He experiences personal growth. He goes from being selfish to selfless. He learns to go within and change his outlook on how he should be living his life. And it's through these changes he breaks the cycle and finds true happiness. It's a wonderful film, and I suggest, when you go home tonight and get through the snow, you can all watch it together and pop some popcorn and have some fun with it. And so the moral of the story, what we can learn from Phil here, and what I'm trying to learn, apparently, is that the moral of the story is that we want to spend the last 33 years of our lives spinning in circles. When we change our perspective, we can break free from daily thought patterns that hold us back. Go to first slide, please. Back one. There you go. Our days and our lives are the same because we tend to have the same habits and think the same thoughts over and over again. Isn't that true? Isn't that true of our lives? That we live the lives the same over and over again. We tend to get up at the same time. We tend to go on our social media at the same time. We tend to do things over and over again. And what do they say about insanity? Why is our life any different? Because we do the same things over again and we expect different results, right? That's kind of a theory, right? And in Science of Mind, we always think about changing your thoughts, changing your habits, changing your life. That's the whole purpose. So I'm going to give you just a little bit of fun fact, a little bit of information about the way you can think about your perspective here. Our thoughts that we think are prayers. Not just thoughts. Our thoughts that we think on a daily basis are prayers. And what do we know about what the law says to our prayers and what we are thinking out there? Yes. The law says yes to those prayers. It only says yes. That's all it knows. The whole creative process, the thing itself, God itself, is saying yes to what it is that you are putting into life. And so if our lives are not the way that we want it, I don't want to say that we have ourselves to blame, but we do have ourselves to blame. I mean, that really is the message here. And the thing is that our thoughts that we think on a daily basis, they can be bleak or they can be transformative. That's our choice. And so we'll go back to the movie Groundhog Day. I love one of the lines that he says in there, right? He's lived the same day over and over and over again. And finally he gets so frustrated. And the line was like, it's like, you want to know about the weather? You're asking the wrong Phil. I'll tell you what the weather prediction is. It's going to be cold, it's going to be wet, and it's going to last the rest of your life. And how many think that? How many have that bleak prediction about our lives, that we go about that, and that's the way that we think about our lives? We think about ourselves in that way. Because that's not a fun way to live our lives. But we can be transformative in our thinking. And can you go back to the first slide? Because I have a fun little affirmation. We'll pull up a little Reverend James here. This is a fun way that we can think about our lives, because we love to do our little affirmation. So let's do this right now. Let's go with our little groundhog here, and let's change our thoughts, and we'll say our affirmation today. Each day I wake up and say a resounding yes to what I offer to my life. Each day I wake up and say yes. Thank you, to what I offer to my life. One more time. Each day I wake up and I say a resounding yes to what I offer to my life. And so that's the way we can change our thinking. We can either think of things as bleak, we can think of things as miserable, or we can change our thoughts, and that becomes our habit thoughts, that becomes our pattern, and that becomes the way that we experience our life. Next slide. To change our mindset, we must first be conscious of our thoughts. Changing our conscience requires to take a good look in, and it's the thoughts, and I call them signposts, that we are paying attention to. Because that's the whole thing. That's the whole part of the deal here, is that we have to look inside ourselves, and we have to see what it is that we are thinking. We have to see that, because that is the direction that we are heading towards our life. That is the signpost, that is the direction that we are going with our lives on a daily basis. And if we don't look within, and if we don't take that time to look within ourselves, then we're just spinning in circles once again. We're doing that same pattern. We're doing that old thinking, that old way of living life that may or may not have served us. And if we want a new way of life, a new way of thinking, a new way of being, a new way of experiencing, that's the first step, is we have to look within. Change always comes within. Always comes within. There is nothing outside of yourself. I get that this world can be frustrating right now. I get that we can look at the government we might not agree in. I get that you can look at all the experiences outside. You can look at the snow, and I can say, what am I experiencing about the snow? I can look at the snow outside, right? And I can say, wow, this is the coolest thing in the world. And I get to go and play in the snow with Karen later, right? Because she wants to get out there, and we can all go play in the snow together. Or I can say, oh my gosh, I'm just going to be stuck, and it's going to be a horrible ride home, and it's going to be miserable, and that's the way that I could think. I got to be aware of what it is that I'm thinking. So that's the first step. Next slide. Ernest Holmes says this: the life we live is the universal life, God expressing through us, else how could we live? Our thought and emotion is the use we make, consciously or unconsciously, of this original thing that is the cause of everything. And so I want to break this down just a little bit, because I absolutely love this quote here. The life we live is a universal life, God expressing through us. Karen, you said that earlier brilliantly. That's how we live, is God expressing us right here and right now. That is what we are. We are spirit expressing in action. That is not just our human selves. We are God in form, and that is how we live our lives. But we still get to choose how to do it. We get to choose what we make of it. And how what we make of this thing of itself, the thing that you talked about earlier when we talked about the 4 chapters. Remember the 4 chapters in Defiance of Mind? The thing itself, how it works, what it does, how we use it. The thing, how we use it of this original thing itself, that original cause of everything that activates into our life, into our being, into who we are, into this moment right now. Our thoughts and emotion is the use we make consciously or unconsciously. Now you see I have 3 words on here in bold. And the first I want to talk about, and I'll kind of go this sentence a little bit backwards. So the first part I talk about is unconsciously. That's our habits. Our thought and emotion is the use we make. We can make it unconsciously. So in other words, we can live our lives unconsciously through habit, through everything that we've been doing and everything that we've been seeing in every way that we've been used to doing. And that's fine. And what does he call it? The amygdala? That's part of us that keeps us safe. I remember this, man, because you love to talk about the Reverend James. The amygdala. Stuck in my brain now, that little term there, right? Yeah.
Literally.
And it's fine because those are the thoughts that keep us safe. And that's a fine way of being if you want to stay safe. But if we want to move forward, if we want to progress, if we want that true expression of spirit to flow through us, we have to be a little bit uncomfortable. And sometimes it means we have to look at our thoughts, and we have to consciously look at our thoughts and say, what isn't working for us? Now, I have thoughts in my head, I come up here and I try and appear confident. I try and appear that I'm knowledgeable. I try and motivate. I'm trying to, get you guys energized in the talk and all that. But there's other thoughts that I have in my head that I notice. Mm-hmm. There's thoughts in my head that I go like, well, maybe I'm not smart enough. Maybe I'm not articulate enough. Maybe I'm not good enough to do this. Those are thoughts that I appear in my head. Mm-hmm. And it's fine to actually have those thoughts because we all have those thoughts. But here's what we can also do. We can consciously look at them and then we can change them. We can consciously look at those signposts in the direction that we are activating into our lives and say that is not the direction that we want to go. Mm-hmm. We can take a look at those signposts and we can kick it down and we can say, I want to go a different direction. Our thought and emotion is the use we make. Highlight emotion. Why do I highlight emotion? Because that's very, very important. I said this in my first talk and I'll say it again. Science of Mind talks a lot about changing your thinking, changing your life. And I think that is absolutely wonderful. But until you change the feeling behind it, the emotion that you have with that thinking, it's not going to change. You can say an affirmation. You can say something to yourself, and you can say it, just kind of meh, right? Mm-hmm. We talk about saying affirmations. We say like, oh, well, I am activated, I am going to lose 20 pounds today, and that's going to activate into my life, right? Yeah, there you go, right? Yeah, I'll keep the arm, that's right, yeah. But that's one way of thinking about it. I like you're changing your perspective to creating the life that you want. I'll change my perspective, but I'll keep my lens. But thank you for that. All right. And so we do that. We change our thinking, but we got to have emotion behind that because that is what is going to activate the change that we want to have in our life. We have to have that feeling tone behind it. Because that's really where Spirit is saying yes to. It's not just saying yes to your thoughts, it's saying yes to the feeling that you have. Ernest Holmes talks about having a fire in the belly. He talks about having that feeling when he's talking about spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer or all these things that you see the practitioners do on stage here. We have to have that feeling tone. And so if something isn't working in your life, if you're looking at your thoughts and you're like, why isn't my life any different? Ask yourself how you're feeling about it. And think about it that. Is that the change? Is that the change that you need to make the difference and activate what you want to show up in your life? And I have a little easy kind of phrase that makes this understandable. And it's this: thinking plus feeling equals manifesting. Remember that. Thinking plus feeling equals manifesting. So whatever you're manifesting in your life, it is a direct result of what you are thinking plus what you are feeling. So not just change your thoughts in your life, change your thinking and change your feeling. And that is the way that you can make your life work better for you. Yes? We have a question? Oh, I'm not used to this, but that's all right. We can take questions during my talk. They never taught us this in ministerial school, but all right.
Prepare for the unexpected.
Sure, go ahead.
In my little brain, it made perfect sense. Science of mind, I get the right thought, I get my car and I turn on the engine. I ain't going anywhere until I put that thing into gear, and that's the feeling.
There you go. Thank you.
For my little brain, I connected it. Thank you very much.
There you go. All right, thank you. Well, that's right. Well, questions, appreciation, validation, sure, I'll take it all. We're a part of a family here, right?
Yes,
Right? We're all doing
yes.
this together. It's not just about me getting on stage, and spouting off and listening to me, right? So why don't we go on to the next stage? So visioning is a great way that we can take a guidepost and we can understand and we can listen to that God within inside ourselves and give us that direction that we may want in life. It is a way that we can look within and we can experience what God is asking of us or we want to ask of God. And it's a powerful tool that we use here in the Science of Mind. And I wanted to take us through this process today because I think that for me, it's not just enough to give up here and just give a great message. What I like to do is I like to give spiritual tools that you can use and take home and activate in your life. Because it's not just about listening to me. It's about you living the life that you want to live. You creating the life that you want to experience. That is what we're about here. Visioning is a spiritual practice where we allow God to give us direction and information through our intuition of our higher wisdom self. What does that mean? It means that we are literally going within and taking a moment and asking ourselves, asking our God selves, asking our spirit selves direction that we want to go with our lives. And so, Becca, what I'd like you to do, if you want, yes, just come to the stage right here.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you just to give us a little background music here. And so what I'd like us to do right now is I'd like just to take a moment. Take a moment and just go within. And just recognize that spirit self. Recognize that God self that you are activated, that you are a part of, that you are a part of that oneness and the wholeness and that expression of this great life itself is expressing as you here in this very moment. That is who you are. That is the reality of who you are. And so what I'd like to do in this moment as we recognize, as we go within, as we come one with that one mind, as our higher self, as our spiritual self, as that aspect of us that connects with the divine within, I'm going to ask us to just go through and ask these questions of ourselves. And the first question I want you to ask yourself is this. What is the next great vision of my life? What is the next great vision of my life? What is seeking to emerge in my life right here and right now? What is trying to unfold in my life? Feel into it. Feel into that activation of who you are with that oneness and that divinity and spirit within. What is the next great vision of my life? The second question, what must I become for this vision to emerge and manifest in me? Where must I grow? There's a spiritual law that states you cannot have in your life what you are not willing to become. What must I become for this vision to emerge and manifest in me in this moment? Moving on, we'll go to a third question. What is it that I can now let go of that no longer serves me in my life or the manifestation of this vision? What is it that I cannot let go of that no longer serves me in my life? What thoughts, what signs do you notice that may have kept you safe, but may have held you back? And you can now let go and grow into something new. I have one final question that we can ask ourselves, and this is an important question. What do I already have that can be in service to this vision? What do I already have that can be in service to this vision? There's another spiritual law that states, to he or she who has more will be given. To he or she who has not, that which they have shall be taken away. See, the universe acts to our vibration and feeling of what we are having and knowing within inside ourselves. What gifts or talents do we already have that maybe we haven't looked at, that we haven't noticed in a while? What do I already have that can be in service to this vision? Just taking one more, taking a deep breath in. Just want us to give thanks. Give thanks to ourselves. Give thanks to our inner selves. Give thanks to our higher wisdom, to our intuitive selves, to that spirit within. Knowing that its vision is one that can manifest in our lives. It is what Spirit is calling for us. It is what Spirit is activating in us at this very moment.
Yes.
So we give thanks to ourselves. We give thanks to the wisdom within. We're not thinking something outside of ourselves. We are thanking ourselves for that connection that we know that we are one with. And so I give thanks for all the visions that are activated here today, knowing that they are all heard into that great law, knowing they all are hurled into that one mind, and that one source, and that one energy, and that one spirit of being. I give great thanks for it all, releasing it, knowing that the law says yes to every single one of us here today, and is manifesting that next vision that is our lives, that we are a part of. Releasing all that into the great spirit of law, I say yes, yes, yes. I call it good. I call it God. And so it is.
So it is.
So that vision, that's your God self. That's your direction self. So we don't ever have to be stuck in our lives. We don't have to be stuck in our habits. We don't have to ever be stuck in our unconscious ways of being. Anytime we can activate that part of ourselves, that part of our spirit within that guides us, now and always. I'm going to finish my talk with a poem. This poem is called The Power of One. It's by Ashish Ram. One song can spark a moment. One flower can wake the dream. One tree can start a forest. One bird can herald spring. One smile begins a friendship. One hand clap splits a soul. One star can guide a ship at sea. One word can frame the goal. One vote can change a nation. One sunbeam lights a room. One candle wipes out darkness. One laugh will conquer gloom. One step must start each journey. One word must start each prayer. Our hope will raise our spirits. One touch can show you care. One voice can speak with wisdom. One heart can know what's true. One life can make a difference. It's always up to you. Be the change you wish to see. Namaste.
Woo! Thank you.
And so now we have our prayer cards.
Oh, okay.
And so I invite you just to fill out your prayer cards. We have on the back, if you have anything that showed up or a demonstration of your life. I always love reading about those. Those prayer cards get passed around to the practitioners. And it blesses us. It blesses us to be able to pray on those. We enjoy that. Manifesting. Thank you. And with that, once again, Becca Palm.
So, somewhere between 5 and 15 years ago, I took Ernest Holmes' thoughts on visioning, and I put them into song. And it was at that time, it was for big band. There was a drummer and a bass player here and a horn section over there and a big choir. And I'll play the bass part here and the guitar part's here, but if you guys would be willing to be my choir, it would be very helpful to me this morning. I thought we could do it together. So it basically is exactly, the chorus is just exactly what we've heard. It's, and guys down here and ladies up here, and I'll which range? I can see it, I can feel it, yes, I know it is real. Want to try it with me once? Because when we get there, we'll do it all together. Ready? I can see it, I can feel it, yes, I know it is real. All right, and I'll let you know when we're there. If I've got a destination and I want to see creation, I live by my imagination, 'cause it's all right here, right now. I feel it down into the center and concentrate while I remember and then release. Yes, I surrender, 'cause it's all right here, right now. There is this thing, if I believe it, say there's a dream, I want to achieve it, realizing I've already received it, and then here it is right now. I just remember that it happened. I see you feel it with fire, passion, and then let go and get into action, 'cause it's all right here, right now. Here we go. I can see it, I can feel it, yes, I know it is real. Give it to me one more time. There it is. Nice. I know it is real. And if I want to dance, I feel my tapping feet. To take a trip to France, I know the trip's complete. If I want romance, I see the one I want to meet right here, right now. To sing today, I hear the song I've sung. To have some pay, I see the job I've done. For child's play, I remember I was having fun, having fun. Don't have to cling to our identity.
So we've got our prayer cards filled out, but there's a second piece to that little bundle on your seat, and that is our offering envelope. Genesis is a community dedicated to love, inspiring harmony, and creating connections to empower spiritual growth. And we love that you are here to share in that with us. This is an invitation to participate, to connect with abundance and generosity. We truly appreciate your support, so let's take a minute to write that down. If you're on Facebook, please visit our website at genesiscsl.org. Or you can text your tithe to 206-800-7595. Feel called to, you can just take your prayer and your offering and hold it next to your heart. We're going to say our offering blessing together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am thankful. Gideon's going to come around and collect our prayers and our offerings as we sing together, God is my source.
God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need.
So you just take a moment to give thanks, knowing that we have initiated the law of circulation, knowing that as we give, so shall we receive, pressed down, multiplied, and overflowing into our individual lives, into the life of Genesis, and out onto the planet. God bless Mother Earth. And so I give thanks for this service. I give thanks for all of us who have attended. I give thanks for Dave Penick and his message today, and for Becca Palm, our musician. A beautiful, beautiful music today. I give thanks for it all. I let it go and I let it be. Let's say together, and so it is. So join us for fellowship. Afterwards, God Inform has provided some snacks. That's one of our care circles. Stand up. Let's sing our closing song, I Release.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life and my heart.